I'm an emergency manager and former firefighter. Let's talk about the complications that come with the firefighting that's happening in LA. So the fires are primarily happening in LA County, which means multiple teams are coming together to help fight these fires because that is not an incorporated area of the city. There isn't an urban fire department that is responsible for that area. An urban fire department is also called a structure fire department. That's who you call when you're like, my house is on fire, and they come put out your house fire. They come on the regular engines that come in various different colors, but that is a typical city firefighter. Then you have wildland guys, and they are more responsible for forest fires and wildland, and they come in typically on contracts. A lot of them work on the West Coast seasonally. They are incarcerated individuals. They are private companies. They are individual wildland teams that may be subsets of the urban fire departments. That happens in Oregon quite a bit. But those teams all come together to do wildland firefighting with different equipment. That's primarily the ground guys and gals. Then you have air support, and air support in modern day wildland firefighting is absolutely essential. I'm talking the DC-10s, the super scoopers you're seeing in videos from LA right now that go down to the water and scoop up water with their belly. Those are all Canadian, and they've sent them all down. You've got the super tankers that will come through. It looks like a 747 that's been converted, and its belly doors open, and it drops retardant, which is that red powder that they're dropping. But let's talk about what they're doing when they're doing that. So you've got guys on the ground that are protecting life and structure with water from hoses, but they're not putting water in the middle of the wildfire. So if you've got a big section of fire, they're not trying to douse it in the middle because that is pointless, useless. That fire is so hot and burning so quickly, that's a waste of resources, especially in a system like LA where all the hydrants have been opened. Therefore, the pressure is a little bit less. It's like if everybody tried to wash their hair at the same time in every shower, sink, and tap in a house. Of course, the pressure is going to drop a little bit. You've opened the entire system and you're overloading it. It's not designed to handle that much. So what they're doing with air support is they're trying to get in front of the fire. They're looking, where is the fire going? Where are the winds blowing? Because when fire blows, especially uphill, it moves faster, but it tends to blow little embers forward, and those start what's called spot fires. So you'll have a big fire that's moving this way, and the wind is blowing, and it's blowing little pieces of burning whatever, trees, house, leaves. Those are going forward, and they start little fires in front of the big fire. So in order to stop that fire, that's the head of the fire, they're going to drop a line of water either from a helicopter or an aircraft, or they're going to drop a line of retardant, and that's that big red powder you see dropping from planes. Why can we not use seawater, especially when there's so much of it next to LA? Well, if you drop salt on land, then the soil becomes useless for many, many years. Like putting salt on the earth is an insult and also horrifically bad for the environment. Like nothing's going to grow. That's not an option. So why are these LA fires so complicated? Well, we didn't have air support for the first while. We couldn't have air support. The winds were so high because these fires are being driven by the Santa Ana winds event, which does happen every few years, but this winds event happens to be reaching 99 miles per hour winds, gusts, which is hurricane strength winds. So it's like you've got a hurricane blowing through, so those planes cannot come in. They can't take off the ground realistically. It's not safe for them to do so for the pilots. And then also, even if they try to do a drop, the wind is going to carry whatever they're dropping, water or retardant, away from where they want it to drop. There's videos now, even from yesterday, of these pilots who are the bravest people you will ever meet, going in super low to try and drop, and you see the plane moving back and forth in the wind, you see it shaking, and then you see them angling and trying to do a drop so that the drop lands exactly where they've been told to do the drop, which is incredibly difficult to do, requires unbelievable skill set and bravery to do so. So all of this to say, this is a huge fire event, and it is very complex, and they are doing the best they can with the resources that they have. And modern day wildfire fighting is very difficult, complex, and requires a lot of adaptation, and it's devastating. These fires are fast, they're hot. There were reports of one of the fires moving at 5 football fields a minute. So this isn't some simple fire. This isn't something that can be blamed on one subset group of people. And it also isn't a simple solution or a simple plan to handle these things.